The time is 8:45 South African Standard Time, 6:45 UTC, and you're listening to ZS6STN, the club station of the Sandton Amateur Radio Club, which is located in Sandton in the northern suburbs of the city of Johannesburg. The Sandton Amateur Radio Club Bulletin is broadcast every Sunday at 8:45 local time on the following frequencies: 145 700 MHz FM in the 2-meter band via the Sandton repeater, and on 7115 kHz lower sideband in the 40-meter band from the shack of Noel ZR6DX. Noel is off today, so the transmission is coming from my shack in White River. The bulletin is also transmitted on the ZA-Net All-Star Network on 145.675 in Nelspruit, ZS6WR 145.625 on the West Rand, and ZS6KTS on the East Rand. Well, in the bulletin today, we have a summary of the SARL news, club birthdays, club news, general ham radio news, technical topic of interest, and call-ins and swap shop. Let's start with a summary of the South African Radio League news for Sunday, the 25th of May. In the news today, news from the SARL office, results of the May RAE, and club news. But first, silent keys. It is with sadness we announce that the key of Carts Club member Tini Herbst, ZS6MHH, went silent on Monday, May the 20th, 2025. He was at home with his family and other relatives. Carts members will remember that Tini enthusiastically shared his technical knowledge and expertise and was able to explain things in a way that everyone could understand. To his ex-YL Anne-Marie, sons Henty, Peter, and Francois, daughters-in-law Renal, Leonie, and Rene, as well as his 2 grandsons and 3 granddaughters, we express sincere condolences. May he rest in peace. News from the SARL office. The SARL NARC office now has a WhatsApp line for voice and text messages in order to streamline communications with members. This replaces the 011 Telcom line, so note that that number is no longer in use. Please, will you add the WhatsApp number to your address book as SARL NARC? And that number is 072-023-5995. I will repeat the number, 072-023-5995. And I'll give you that number again right at the end of this bulletin in case you were unable to write it down. The VoIP line of 087-822-1464 remains in use for phone calls. Results of the May RAE. The results of the May RAE 2025 were communicated with candidates on Saturday the 17th. Noel ZR6DX, the RAE manager, informed SARL News that 70 people registered and paid to write the exam, but 17 of those did not write. 48 candidates passed, with 5 candidates not making the grade. Well done to the successful candidates, and all the best to those who will write the November exam. And we hope that those 5 who did not make the grade rewrite in November. You're listening to a news bulletin of the South African Radio League. The Sandton Amateur Radio Club extends heartfelt congratulations to Pretoria Amateur Radio Club for taking home the Club Excellence Award, and also a big thank you for a very well-organized 2025 SARL Centenary National Convention. The AGM was slick, the flea market was fun, multiple display stands were great and made very good social gathering point. The awards dinner was awesome. So well done to all who were involved, and especially to those who traveled from afar to be there. Again, a big thank you from ZS6STN. To conclude the summary of the SARL news, Hannes Kutsia, ZS6BZP, reports that the solar activity is expected to be at low levels. There are currently 9 sunspot regions with simple to slightly complex magnetic configurations visible. There is a probability for C-class and a low probability of M-class solar flares. If you want to do your own frequency predictions, the expected effective sunspot number for the week will be around 64. The 30 to 15 meter band provides some good DX fun. If you want more information, visit spaceweather.sansa.org.za. That's spaceweather.sansa.org.za. That concludes the HQ Bulletin for today. Now for the Sandton Amateur Radio Club news. So please grab that pen and paper. Note the dates for your diary at the end of this bulletin. We start with birthdays and congratulate the following members on their birthday and wish them a blessed, happy, and healthy and successful year ahead. Today, it's Dave Brindley, ZS6 Delta Alpha Victor, and Dave, together with Justin, are responsible for the ZA Net All-Star Network. So congratulations, Dave. And then tomorrow, the 26th, Gert Kruger, ZS6GLK. And next Saturday, the 31st, Colin de Villiers, ZS6COL. Now for the club news. Well, we had some gossip from the SARL convention and awards dinner, and this is thanks to Keith. The Sandton Amateur Radio Club had a stand at the convention, and thanks to Keith, ZS6HI, Richard, ZR6 Delta Echo, Brandon, ZS6 Lima Zulu, and Charles. Not sure of your call sign, Charles. Forgive me. Then Wally, ZS6WLY, Rad, ZS6RAD, Renato, ZS6REN, and Andy, ZS6ADY, manned the AWA stand, where there were some really nice goodies on sale. Renato, ZS6REN, and Mario, ZS6MAR, were seen lurking around the flea market, and Peter, ZS6PJE, had some goodies for sale. Elaine, ZS6 Alpha Tango, and Brandon, ZS6LZ, sat at the table with our ZS Sota Goats, Sid ZS5AYC, and Adele, ZS5APT. Brandon mentioned it was very well organized and a fun event with lots of social interactions with those met on airways, but not previously in person. My apologies if I've missed out any other Sandtonite, as I was busy with council matters and may have missed you, so do forgive me. Regular get-togethers. Remember that club meetings are always on the last Wednesday of every month. The gatherings are held at CJ's, which is at 11 Kildoon Road, Bryanston. Remember that the success of these events is dependent entirely on your participation, so watch out for announcements about events. A number of our club members received awards at the SARL Awards Dinner, and we congratulate them for their contribution and for holding the Sandton Amateur Radio Club high. The Tinus Lange 7066 Technical Excellence Award went to Keith, ZS6HI, for work on the Bakar 12 payload building adventure. The Barney Joel Trophy went to Brandon, ZS6LZ, for contributing to the advancement of equipment, antennas, and Brandon, ZS6LZ, for the article SOTA, Lessons Learned in the July 24 edition of Radio ZS, and for SOTA Reflections in the November 24 edition of Radio ZS. Then the contesting award, the Hostroff, went to Keith, ZS6HI, for achieving the highest aggregate score across 3 HF contests. The Joseph White Trophy went to Brandon, ZS6LZ, as a single operator, single band, achieving the highest score on any one band during the annual HF phone contest. And the SARL ZS SOTA Award Regional Responder went to Mark, ZS6MDX, Matthew, ZS6MDV, Keith, ZS6HI, Charles, ZS6U, Graham, ZS6 Golf Lima, and Brandon, ZS6LZ. And that's for chasing a SOTA peak in each of the 10 ZS SOTA regions. Then the Nomad Navigator went to Brandon, ZS6LZ, for activating a SOTA peak in each of the 10 ZS SOTA regions. The Global Gabba went to Brandon, ZS6LZ, and Charles, ZS6U, for a minimum of 20 DX contacts from SA activations. The Planet Pinger went to Brandon, ZS6LZ, for a minimum of 20 DX chases of offshore activations from South Africa. The President's Award went to Chris Turner, ZS6GM, for service to the SARL members over the year. And the Radio ZS Editors Award went to Chris Turner, ZS6GM, for regular contribution of column and technical articles. Well done to all our Sandton members, and come on, Santonites, get active, and let's take some more awards next year. Then the Power Hour Tech Talk is this coming Wednesday, the 28th of May, at 17:30 UTC. So that's 7:30 or 9:30 p.m. That's 7:30 p.m. local time. So that's 7:30 p.m. local time. And the guest on this Tech Talk will be D-Expedition Guide Kenneth, LA7GIA, who will be live from Norway. And he'll take us on a wild ride to the many exotic, often extremely dangerous and rare DXCC locations, which he has participated in solo and also group DX expeditions. And there are some very exciting upcoming DX expeditions, such as Bove Island and Peter One Island. Never heard of the Peter One Island. So that's guest Kenneth, LA7GIA. On the Tech Talk will take place this Wednesday evening at 7:30 local time via Zoom. It will be relayed on the ZS6STN 145700 repeater and also on the interconnected repeaters via the ZA-Net All-Star Network. You'll want to subscribe to the ZS6STN YouTube channel at https, of course, www.youtube.com, and then at ZS6STN, that's ampersand, ZS6STN. Then Summits on the Air and Parks on the Air, so that's SOTA and POTA, are award schemes for radio amateurs to encourage portable operation, particularly in mountainous terrain and in the country's parks, respectively. Yesterday, Luke, ZS6LUK, a product of the October 2024 RAE class, achieved his first successful POTA activation, getting 27 phone contacts from Delta Park, which is ZA0119. This is after narrowly missing 10 contacts. He only received 9, unfortunately, from the Moremi Game Reserve in Botswana in April. This afternoon at around 3 p.m., Brandon, ZS6LZ, possibly accompanied by some new hams from the May RAE class, will be activating the Sandton Field and Study Center, which is reference ZA0076, and hopefully expose them to a proper field DX pileup. What many operators don't realize is that SOTA and POTA are powerful international spotting infrastructure, and is how eager foreign operators get to SA sites, or get SA sites into their logbooks. It is not unusual to get several dozen DX stations in the log from city parks. So look out for stations on 40, 30, 20, 15, and 10 meters. Whether you're a summits or parks chaser, let's get involved. Then news about the ZS6STN repeater and the ZA-Net. News this week is that the Lowveld Kaapse-Hoop repeater on 145.675 is the latest to join the ZA All-Star Network. This means that if you are in the Lowveld, you're able to chat back to Gauteng, and Lowvelders will have access to Gauteng. Thanks to Dave Brindley for engineering the node, ZS9LOW, and to Helgi Braithwaite, ZS6HB, for the donation of the radio. Please provide reports and feedback on coverage to Justin, ZS6JGP, with details of any problems, including your location and working conditions. Then the Dipole newsletter, which is the Sandton Amateur Radio Club newsletter. It's the forum to share and discuss amateur radio activities of particular interest to club members. Now it's your turn. Don't leave it to one person. Help raise the interest factor and consider submitting an article of interest for publication. And you do that by writing to info@zs6stn.org.za. Either send in an article or Send in a proposal for an article, and the editor of Dipole will get back to you. So now grab that pen and paper and get ready to write, because here's the diary of events. Today, the 25th of May, is the POTA, Parks on the Air. Then Wednesday, the 28th, the Sandton Amateur Radio Club Power Hour. 29th of May, Ascension Day. 31st of May, the West Rand Boot Sale. Write that down. Make sure that you don't miss that date. The West Rand Boot Sale is always a fabulous place to be. Meet up with people, great burry rolls, and always a lot of stuff to buy and sell. Then the 1st to the 3rd of June is Shavuot. 5th of June, World Environment Day. 5th to the 8th of June, very important, the SARL Top Band Contest. 5th to the 8th, SARL Top Band Contest. See the contest manual on the website for more information. And then 7th and 8th of June is the Region 1 CW Field Day and Queens of the Mountain event. Then the 8th of June is also World Oceans Day and the Hammies QSO party. So get on air and give the Hammies some contacts and make them feel welcome on the bands. Now let's take a quick break on 2 meters and see if we have any late breaking news from a Sandton committee member. ZS6STN is listening.
ZS6HI?
Yes, Keith, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Chris. Bulletin very well received at my QTH, and good morning to you all on frequency. As you've mentioned, the Power Hour Tech Talk is this coming Wednesday, the 28th of May, and that also means that the clubhouse will be open on the 28th of May from 5:30 in the afternoon, CAT, South African time. So it would be wonderful to see as many members present as possible at the clubhouse, and we will participate in that tech talk from the clubhouse in Bryanston, as you've mentioned. It's just worth mentioning that I have had a few questions around electronic logging, and before we get on to a full formal electronic logging course, those who are interested, I will have my PC laptop at the clubhouse on Wednesday evening, and we will, if you are interested, go through Log4OM. So we're happy to walk through Log4OM, especially for the newbies, the new licensed amateurs. If you are interested, please join us, and we can take you through Log4OM and give you the ins and outs of that particular logging program on Wednesday evening at the clubhouse. That's all, and I know that there's a POTA today, Chris. ZS6 Lima Zulu is arranging or working on a POTA today, so that'll be a bit of fun as well. ZS6STN, ZS6HI.
From ZS6STN. Keith, thanks very much for that information, and yes, we want people to get involved, so go and visit the club, or the club meeting at DJ's. Right, so let's move on to our topic of interest. And today's topic of interest is for people who like computer gaming or got involved in computer gaming. May the 22nd was the 45th anniversary of Pac-Man. Yes, Pac-Man turned a yellow circle and 4 quirky ghosts into a global obsession that's still being played 45 years on. Although arcade video games in one form or another have been around since the 60s, it wasn't until video gaming entered the golden age in 1978 that gaming became a worldwide phenomenon. That year, Taito released Space Invaders, which was a fixed shooter, which introduced scoreboards for bragging rights and other novel features, and it quickly caught the attention of kids everywhere and sent off a firestorm of demand for new games. From 1978 to 1982, you'd be hard-pressed to find a pizza joint, major retail store, even laundromats that didn't have at least 1 or 2 arcade games, and a swath of kids and teens lining up to dump pockets full of coins to get a few minutes of game time. The craze entered its pinnacle when a record number of companies, including Atari, Nintendo, and Williams Electronics, released some of the most iconic games in history. But one company stood tall among them all and created the most widely known arcade game in history. It was Namco's Pac-Man. Known as Puck-Man, P-U-C-K-Man in Japan, the game quickly became a worldwide sensation and led to several sequels including merchandise, a couple of television series, and even a hit single called Pac-Man Fever by the group Buckner and Garcia. So what made the game great, and why does it still stand the test of time 45 years after release? Well, the answer to those questions, we have to travel back in time to 1977. 22-year-old Toru Iwatani began working for Namco, now called Bandai Namco. Originally, Iwatani was interested in designing new pinball games, but Namco scrapped the idea due to patent issues, but posed another one. Why not create a video game based on the concept of pinball? Well, the following year, Iwatani, with help from programmer Ishimura, released BG, a breakout-style game that featured some pinball mechanics during gameplay. The game wasn't a blockbuster, but it wasn't even in a movie theater. But it helped Namco get its foot in the door for the video game market. Towards the end of the 70s, Iwatani grew tired of video games, and he felt that the market was unjustly catered to men, citing examples of war and sports games, including Space Invaders and Pong. So he set about to create a game that would appeal to women, with vibrant colors, great character designs, and most of all, easy-to-learn gameplay that was based on the concept of eating. So Pac-Man's gameplay is relatively simple. Players move Pac-Man around different mazes, trying to eat as many dots as they can while avoiding the ghosts. But the game's logic that runs Pac-Man is more complex than we'd expect. Each of the ghosts has its own unique personality and controls their behavior and movement. So this was done using a primitive form of AI, as it would be called today, but it was artificial intelligence of that day. Each ghost has a specific movement algorithm that makes them behave differently to one another, and this was done deterministically, pathfinding based on Pac-Man's position and direction. Iwatani and his team took advantage of mode switching, which enables the ghosts to alternate between scatter mode and chase mode every few seconds, so they'd either chase you or they'd run away. Well, the hardware used to run the game would be considered fairly simple by today's standards, but back in 1979 it was cutting edge. It was driven by a Zilog Z80 processor running at 3 megahertz, not all the gigs of the modern processors, and it was equipped with just 8K of character ROM for graphics like sprites and tiles, 16K of game code ROM, and 3K of RAM. How about that? Well, it's been 45 years since Pac-Man was released, and children and adults alike still play the original Toru Iwatani and his team created long ago. The testament of time can often break old games, sending them into obscurity, or worse, to a long forgotten landfill site. But for Pac-Man, Iwatani's creation will continue to entertain gamers for another 45 years and beyond. Well, that's our topic of interest today. It was a short one, but I think very interesting indeed. No, I think that's it. So thank you for listening this morning, and thank you for those who called in and participated. Once again, congratulations to all the Santonians who managed to achieve awards. And I call on you to please get involved, do more. Let's get some more awards for the Sandton members. And I know we're linked to Westrand, so I'm also a member at Westrand, so I have to be careful about what I say here, Jack and Philip. Well, anyway, this brings to a close the weekly club bulletin of the Sandton Amateur Radio Club. Thanks to the contributors and the relay stations. Your input is invaluable. And remember that you can get this bulletin on the Sandton Amateur Radio Club YouTube channel. So you go to youtube.com/@ZS6STN. That's the and youtube.com/@ZS6STN. This bulletin will be there, as well as the Power Hour and the other tech talks, and you'll find all the historical bulletins will be there too. Thanks to Lowveld, Westrand, KTS, and Sandton for the use of your repeaters, and to those listening on the All-Star Network elsewhere. This is ZS6STN, operated by ZS6GM, is now off and clear and clearing all frequencies.